So let's get started. This is your question number 1. Elderly male is coming with the complaint of gradual onset of blurring of vision. Namaste ji. Satvik. Satvik is there after a long time. Yes, Satvik? Fine. So this elderly male is coming with the gradual onset of the blurring of vision over the past 3 months. Hello Rizwan, after a long time, how are you? And he has a difficulty driving at night and reading the fine print. Now, can you tell me what are the things you are going to think now? We will be doing many short questions from a long question also, and then we will be doing a whole large question. ठीक है, ऐसे करेंगे. एक elderly male है, and this male is coming with the gradual onset of blurring of vision. So it's a gradual diminution of vision, and they are not saying it's painful, so that means it's painless. Gradual painless diminution of vision, and it's more at night. So I can take it as a crude, in the crude form, I can take it as night blindness. The person is having more problem in seeing at night. So what are the things that you can think of? What this person can be having? He also have a problem in the... Yes, hello, I am also good, and rather I am very happy to be here, and I am very happy to share so many rankers interviews. I was very delighted to listen to their views. All the questions were from our notes, and they were quite satisfied. And one thing which is the best thing is that even those students who were the rankers and those students who were not satisfied with their ranks, even they were satisfied with DBMCI. Like, they said that we could not make it. This was not our best attempt, because every time it's not best for us. Our stars may not be favoring, or our conditions may not be favoring, but they were saying that everybody there at the Bhatiyas, they are always supporting. So that sounds so good, because our ultimate purpose is to help you people, and when you see it happen, obviously it feels great. Okay, so let's see this. So if I say that this person is having the gradual onset diminution of vision more at the night, and he's also having a problem in the fine print, he's not able to read that near one. So that means there is a problem in accommodation. Okay, I'm giving you a hint. He's well compliant on anti-diabetic and anti-hypertensive medications. He is on anti-diabetic medication, anti-hypertensive medication. That means he is both a diabetic and a hypertensive. So we have the risk factors, diabetes as well as hypertension, both are there. And we are giving Ramipril and Metformin. So both anti-hypertensive, and that is given. His vitals are normal, and the corrected visual acuity is 20/80, 20/100 with the normal findings on the visual field testing. Okay? Now, I am not reading it beyond. First, can you tell me what are the things that we can think of in the patient? If my patient is elderly male, he is having a gradual painless diminution of vision. He is having a driving difficulty at the night. So basically, I can say that he is having a crude kind of night blindness, and a gradual progressive painless diminution of vision means we will have a cataract can be there, and we can have the open angle glaucoma. We can have both the cataract and the glaucoma can be there. Now, can you tell me which kind of cataract can cause this problem in driving at the night? So, if you remember, what do we have in the cataract? We can have two kind of cataract. One is the cortical cataract, and one is the nuclear cataract. Okay? Cortical cataract and the nuclear cataract. Now, who will tell me which one is more common? Cortical cataract is more common or nuclear cataract is more common? Please tell me. By the time I am discussing what are the two kind of cortical cataract. Cortical cataract हो सकता है, very good Saurabh. Saurabh has come up with so many options है. Cortical cataract हो सकता है, open angle glaucoma हो सकता है, retinitis pigmentosa also, we can have night blindness, or what we have, tunnel vision. Tunnel vision, due to which cause you will have to mention. Tunnel vision is, it's not a disease, it's just a sign. ठीक है ना? Very good, Anjali. So cortical cataract is more common. Ab cortical, maybe we can have two kind of cataract. See, you may know the answer, but I want to tell you the basically approach, how to go about the clinical case scenarios, because in the future you will be more and more having clinical case scenarios. So we have to learn that approach of solving this. Cuneiform ho gaya, and then we have the cupuliform also. We have cuneiform cataract and the cupuliform cataract hai. Cuneiform cataract which is more in the periphery. ठीक है ना? It is more in the periphery. So in the suppose this is the cortex and this is the nucleus. So we are having these peripheral wedge-shaped areas of the opacity, something like this. I'll color them because they are opaque like this. So basically this patient who is having wedge-shaped areas in the periphery. So when this patient will go in the dim light and the pupil gets dilated, these areas also start coming. That is why we will have the more of problem in the night. So we will have a night blindness in these people. While on the other hand, what was cupuliform? Cupuliform mein I am having the cataract in the central area. ठीक है ना? We have a plaque-like area, जिसको हम क्या कहते हैं? Which is also called as the posterior subcapsular cataract. So this will cause more of day blindness. This everybody knows or not? Yes. Now, what are the special features of nuclear cataract? Who is going to tell me? What are the special features? The patient is having a nuclear cataract. ERMD, yes, of course. We are having a gradual, painless, progressive loss of vision, and that too in an elderly, male or a female, we can have a ERMD also. That is again a very good example and a very good DD. We can have a ERMD also, very good. So, what are the specific symptoms that you are going to get in the nuclear cataract? One is of course the day blindness because it's a cataract which is present in the central area, and whenever we have central opacities, always we will have the diminution of vision more during the daylight. ठीक है? उसके अलावा क्या होता है which is very very specific that is found in the nuclear cataract? So this is your second sight. All these are important concepts that we have done already in the cataract, and you will have to remember them. This is your second sight. Second sight, what is this actually? Second sight, it is actually improvement of the near vision. Improvement of near vision which is occurring in the nuclear sclerosis. This is occurring in the patients of the nuclear sclerosis, where we have more and more hardening in the nucleus due to the progressive index myopia. This is due to the progressive index myopia. Why myopia was developing? Now, if you look here in the nuclear sclerosis, sclerosis means what? We are having hardening. So we are having the hardening of the nucleus. Why I am having the hardening of the nucleus? Because due to the aging, I am having the dehydration also, and then also I am having the deposition of the pigments, right? Now, who will tell me from where we are getting these pigments? Nucleus में pigments कहाँ से आए? Why I am getting deposition of the pigments? How can we grade nuclear sclerosis? So, I am going to tell you this, Anjali. Don't worry. But can you tell me how will you get these pigments? कहाँ से आते हैं? These are obtained from the amino acids. And from where are you getting these amino acids? This we are getting from the proteins. So whenever we are getting the protein breakdown due to the aging, because lens is nothing but the protein. So due to the aging, you are getting the breakdown of proteins. Breakdown of proteins, so you are getting amino acids. Amino acids say you are getting pigments. Pigments are getting deposited. And from that color only. So Anjali, see, whenever you are looking at the grades of the nuclear sclerosis, you have to tell it बाय द कलर. कैसे बताएंगे? लाइक नंबर 1 में इट इज जस्ट ग्रेइश इन कलर, ग्रेइश होगा. In the earlier phase it was just transparent. So first में it is just grayish, then it is attending a light yellow color, लाइटिश येलो कलर है. उसके बाद ग्रेड 3 है. ग्रेड 3 में यू गेट अ गोल्डन येलो. फर्स्ट इट वॉज अ लाइट येलो, देन इट इज अ गोल्डन येलो, एंड गोल्डन येलो के बाद नंबर 4 वी हैव गॉट अ ब्राउन कलर, and finally 5th में we get a black color. This is how we do the grading of nuclear sclerosis. And why we are getting different colors? Due to the different amount of pigments. This brown is also called as cataracta brunescens, while the black is called as cataracta nigra. Cataracta brunescens, cataracta nigra. Are you getting this? So from the symptoms itself, I am getting so many features that whether it can be a cortical cataract, it could be a cuneiform or cupuliform, or it is a nuclear cataract. ठीक है? Now suppose I come to the other one and I start thinking in terms of primary open angle glaucoma. Because elderly male with gradual painless progressive diminution of vision along with the diabetes and the hypertension, so very well it could be a case of open angle glaucoma. Yes or no? So I will have to see what all things are actually given in the question, by which I am able to say that whether it is a cataract or a glaucoma or retinitis pigmentosa. It's very rare to diagnose it in an elderly male. Usually the diagnosis is taking place in the childhood only, because you have got typical family history present, you have got typical triad, you have got the fundus pictures present. So it's very unlikely that you are getting it diagnosed during the elderly male. ठीक है? Then this person is also having the problem of diabetes and hypertension. Diabetes and hypertension are the risk factors for the cataract and glaucoma, not for the RP. ठीक है? ARMD की बात करते हैं. तो ARMD में is again a very common one, irreversible cause of vision loss, but that is more common in the Western countries. And again, diabetes and hypertension is not a risk factor, it is age related. ठीक है ना? So let us see now what are the other things they have given due to which I can diagnose whether it's a cataract, glaucoma, or it's a ARMD. ठीक है? So ophthalmoscopic examination with the pupillary dilatation reveals a loss of transparency of the lens in both the eyes. Fundal reflex normal है, but the retinal details are difficult to visualize. So what is your most likely diagnosis? Your options are central retinal venous occlusion, open angle glaucoma, macular degeneration. Also they have given you the DD of the option of the ARMD, and then they have given you cataract. Can you tell me what is the answer? Is it a CRVO? Is it a open angle glaucoma? A cataract? Good evening, Avinash. Yes, Avinash will tell. Who will tell the answer? So, is it a CRVO, open angle glaucoma, macular degeneration, या फिर cataract है? Central cataract में the classical presentation of difficulty with the headlights of the upcoming coming cars. Yes, it's very, very common. In the cases of the posterior subcapsular cataract, the problem of glare is very, very high. Whenever the light is coming from the front, it flashes, and it is striking the nodal point. That is the center of the lens. Center of the lens is opaque, so there will be a lot of scattering of the light. And that is why the problem of glare is very, very common. Very absolutely correct. And that is why in the posterior subcapsular cataract, night driving is very, very problematic. Siddharth, why it is CRVO? CRVO ka presentation, beta, always remember whenever we have the venous occlusion, whether it is CRAO or whether it is CRVO, they will always be sudden and painless, not gradual. They are always sudden and painless. CRVO also comes with sudden painless diminution of vision, or it takes time. वो ही बता रही हूँ मैं अविनाश. They are always sudden painless. ठीक है? CRVO में भी diabetes and hypertension are the risk factors. More is the hypertension. Hypertension is the most common risk factor, as well as the most important risk factor for the CRVO. And what is this typical appearance? Where do you get this appearance? Where do you get this appearance? Can you tell me what is this? सिद्धार्थ को समझ में आया? Whenever you are having the vascular occlusions, whether it is an arterial occlusion or it's a venous occlusion, you are always getting sudden painless. And that is what I always tell you in the classes also. Sudden painless diminution of vision means, remember the posterior segment pathology. Always you will have a posterior segment pathology whenever you have this. Yes. So what is this appearance called as? Who will tell this appearance? What is this sign? Where do you get it? Yes, very good. So this is actually, this is the splash tomato appearance. Yes, splash tomato appearance, which you get in cases of the CRVO. This is actually the splash tomato appearance that you get in cases of the CRVO, splash tomato fundus, you are able to get. So this is the typical thing. Good evening, Deepti. So you have understood why it is not CRVO. Okay? Then let's rule out the other one now. Why it is not open angle glaucoma? Why it's not the macular degeneration? What do you require for the diagnosis and macular degeneration? Suppose अगर ये case होता ARMD का, then which ARMD you will think of? We know that we have got two kind of ARMD. One is your dry ARMD and one is the wet ARMD. So if you are saying it could be a case of ARMD when I have a gradual painless progressive diminution of vision, so can you tell me what kind of ARMD are you telling? Are you telling the dry ARMD or are you talking about the wet ARMD? Which one is more common? Which one is more severe? It is something related to that. Yes, ma'am. अभी सबके समझ में आया? Are you learning? We are learning 4 diseases in one question. We are learning about cataract, glaucoma, ARMD as well as CRVO. है ना? So yes, dry is more common. This is present in 90% of the cases, and wet ARMD is less common. कितना? 10%. Wet ARMD is only 10%. ठीक है? Now wet ARMD के लिए what do you require? You require CNVM. CNVM मतलब choroidal neovascular membrane चाहिए, which is causing the severe diminution of vision. So that means we are not dealing with a DD of wet ARMD. We are dealing with a DD of dry ARMD. Dry ARMD में क्या मिलेगा? Drusens. So they have not given us any history of Drusens. Then they have not given us any history of RPE atrophy. We should have a RPE atrophy. Then I should also have the irregular pigmentation. Irregular pigmentation should also be there. So this is not given. That is why I am not suspecting that it's a case of macular degeneration. ठीक है? Macular degeneration हम cancel कर रहे हैं. Now we have glaucoma and cataract. Glaucoma and cataract में which one is more common? Cataract is more common. Diabetes and hypertension are the risk factors in both, but they have said something by which I can actually tell you that this is a case of a cataract, because they are saying there are loss of transparency of the lens in both the eyes. Loss of transparency means the lens opacity, and lens opacity is a cataract. And once a cataract is there, the media becomes hazy. When the media is hazy, the retinal details are difficult to visualize. See what happens. Suppose this is the cornea and iris. Then we have this lens, and then this is your retina. And then we have got this is your vitreous. And here I have this aqueous. Okay? Here I have this aqueous. This is the aqueous. Now, if I am having this corneal opacity, lenticular opacity, the cataract, then what is going to happen? So, when you pass the rays, okay, you pass the light, what is happening? It's not able to pass through it. So, you are not able to see this retina. That is why it is called as media haziness, and you are not able to visualize. So, this goes with the cataract. Are you clear with it? Why it is a cataract, how to go about it, and how to actually, approach the question, how to rule out the DD, how to analyze each of the risk factor, look at the clinical symptoms, and then finally we can come up, yes, it is this or not. So I hope this question is very, very clear to everybody. Now we coming to other question. Okay, this question says that there is a 50-year-old male, okay, who is suffering from head trauma, and after 4 to 5 days he started having the noise in head. What is noise in head basically? What is noise in the head? This is called as a brew. So we have a history of head trauma, and then we are also having a brew. Brew means we are having a noise in the head. And on the examination, we are also having the chemosis and pulsatile proptosis. What is chemosis? After the history of head trauma, we are have complained of the noise in the head. We are having the chemosis, which is your conjunctival edema. Conjunctival edema is there. Then what is the kind of proptosis? Pulsatile proptosis. Anybody who can tell me the most common cause of pulsatile proptosis? Anywhere you know, where do you have the pulsatile proptosis? Where do you have the, अच्छा, directly smart people are telling me the answer. Very good. But उससे पहले वो भी बताओ, where do you get the pulsatile proptosis? Then a very particular thing, diplopia in the lateral gaze. So if I have a diplopia in the lateral gaze, which muscle is affected? The muscle affected is lateral rectus. And what is the nerve supply? All are supplied by third cranial nerve except for LR6 and SO4. So this LR is supplied by the sixth cranial nerve. So we will have the sixth nerve palsy. Ptosis is also there. Ptosis means the problem is in the LPS muscle, and LPS is supplied by the third cranial nerve. So third cranial nerve is also affected, sixth cranial nerve is also affected. Fundoscopy पे क्या मिल रहा है? Fundoscopy में we have got the optic disc swelling है, venous dilatation है, intraretinal hemorrhages है. What does this mean? We have got the back pressure changes. We have got the raised pressures, due to which we have hemorrhages also. We have dilatation of the veins है, optic disc swelling भी है. So what is this? What is the most probable diagnosis? So chemosis is the edema of the conjunctiva. Very good. So everybody is saying that it is a keratico-cavernous fistula. My question is, why it is not cavernous sinus thrombosis? My question is, why it's not cavernous sinus thrombosis? If you look at the section of the cavernous sinus, and why it's not orbital apex syndrome, or why it's not the Tolosa-Hunt syndrome? See, if you look at the section of the cavernous sinus, can you see? From the center, what are the things that are passing through the center? We have got this. This is your internal carotid artery, and this is your sixth nerve. So through the center, we have got internal carotid artery and the sixth nerve which are passing. And then if you look at the lateral wall mein we have got the third nerve, fourth nerve, and first and second division of the fifth nerve. So third nerve is also affected, sixth nerve is also affected. Third nerve से हो रहा है ptosis, and sixth से हो रहा था the diplopia and the lateral gaze. ठीक है? So it is something related to cavernous sinus. Now what is the Tolosa-Hunt syndrome? Tolosa-Hunt syndrome. If I talk about the Tolosa-Hunt syndrome, this is actually the granulomatous inflammation. It is the chronic granulomatous inflammation of the cavernous sinus. Chronic granulomatous inflammation है of the cavernous sinus. It could be the orbital apex, or it could be superorbital fissure. Then they also said that we can have the orbital apex syndrome. Now, how will you differentiate whether it is a orbital apex syndrome, or it's a superorbital fissure syndrome, or orbital cellulitis, or cavernous sinus thrombosis, or a keratico-cavernous fistula? Now, if you look at the orbital apex, what are the things that you have at the orbital apex? We have the optic canal, and then we also have the superorbital fissure. Now optic canal say the structures which are passing is your optic nerve and the ophthalmic artery. Optic nerve and the ophthalmic artery है, ठीक है. And what are the structures passing through superorbital fissure? We know it is divided into three parts by what? Now another question for you is, what structure is dividing the superorbital fissure into three parts? Pulsatile means arterial connections must be present. Very good. Thrombosis means no pulsations. Very good. Awesome. Yes. So now the next question is, which structure is dividing superorbital fissure into three parts? That is the superior part, the middle part and the inferior part. We have got three parts. Superior part से होता है superior ophthalmic vein. Superior ophthalmic vein. And inferior say we have inferior ophthalmic vein. What are the structures passing through the middle part? Middle part say we have got some of the nerves. Superior parts of nerves are lacrimal, frontal and trochlear. So you can easily remember it by the liver function test. This is the mnemonic liver function test. So we have got L for lacrimal. All these things are important. You have to remember the not me here. Lacrimal, F for frontal, and then we have T for trochlear. T for trochlear is there, fourth nerve. Okay? And the divisions of the fifth nerve है. Middle say we have got the nasociliary, the third part of the fifth nerve, nasociliary है. Then the third nerve, both the superior and inferior divisions, and sixth nerve. So that means we are not having, you know, any predilection towards the sixth nerve or the third nerve if I am having orbital apex. Plus, I should also have a problem with the optic nerve. So, I should also have the diminution of vision. So, I am not having the diminution of vision here. And in the orbital apex syndrome, I will not have the pulsatile proptosis. I am not having that typical history of head trauma. So, what we are having is, whenever we are having any history of the trauma, you have to always remember that it could be some fistula. Especially when you are having a pulsatile kind of proptosis, that means you are having some AV malformation. So that is the reason why we are thinking about the keratico-cavernous fistula, because we have got a typical triad here, which is called as the Bandy's triad. The typical triad that we get in keratico-cavernous fistula is the Bandy's triad, physics, chemistry, biology. This is your physics, chemistry, biology. What is physics? This is your pulsatile proptosis. So whenever, practically you can say, whenever you are having a question of pulsatile proptosis, please think about the keratico-cavernous fistula. C for chemosis hai, you know now chemosis, and B for Bru. So whenever I am having this pulsatile proptosis with chemosis, with Bru, I will think about keratico-cavernous fistula. While if I am having a similar complaint but I am not having the pulsatile proptosis, I am not having the Bru, then I will think about the cavernous sinus thrombosis. Okay. What is the most common risk factor for cavernous sinus thrombosis? Suppose I am thinking about the cavernous sinus thrombosis. Okay. Suppose I am thinking about the cavernous sinus thrombosis, who will tell me the important risk factors? In which cases are you going to think that yes, it could be a case of cavernous sinus thrombosis? Three important risk factors bata do. Can you give me three important risk factors? Thank you, Dream Chaser. Loved your INI rapid revision. अच्छा लगा नीट के लिए. Of course, I will definitely bring, and I will bring some important topics revision also, and in the form of the questions also, some images discussion. I will bring many things. Yes. Yes. So yes, we have got very good, amazing audience, I must say. Love you guys. So we have got the acute ethmoidal sinusitis, acute ethmoidal sinusitis is there, number 1. उसके अलावा number 2, if I am having an infection in the dangerous area of the face, what is the dangerous area of the face? ऐसे होता है ना वाइवा, when you see moment you utter anything, then they say what is this then, so thank you so much. और क्या हो सकता है? Not really trauma. I think trauma is not really a risk factor for the cavernous sinus thrombosis. अगर trauma है question में, then you have to go more towards the keratoconus fistula. तो इसीलिए I'm not giving trauma here, क्योंकि confusion होने के chances ज़्यादा होते हैं. Okay, तो third क्या हो सकता है? One of the risk factor is also the orbital cellulitis. It is also the orbital cellulitis. So if a person is already having, or I will say a child is already having the orbital cellulitis, child क्यों कह रही हूँ? Because orbital cellulitis is the most common cause of the unilateral proptosis. It is the most common cause of unilateral proptosis in children. So all those children who are having the orbital cellulitis also have a risk of developing this cavernous sinus thrombosis. Another important question, what is the pathognomic sign? Pathognomic sign of the cavernous sinus thrombosis. So suppose I am having a confusion, lot of confusion है, orbital cellulitis है कि cavernous sinus thrombosis है, keratoconus fistula तो okay I have differentiated because that was having pulsatile proptosis है, chemosis है, and brew hai, history of trauma hai, but I am really confused whether it's a orbital cellulitis or cavernous sinus thrombosis, because dono mein hi you can get proptosis, chemosis, optic disc congestion, and you can have the systemic features also. Maybe they are more severe in cavernous sinus thrombosis. We can have ophthalmoplegia also. So what, any sign that you know which is very very specific and you are sure that this is a case of cavernous sinus thrombosis? Yes, so Avinash ने अब बोला है orbital cellulitis. Yes, orbital cellulitis is an important risk factor. Ganesh, you are right about the dangerous area of the face. Yes. So, what is the pathognomic sign of the cavernous sinus thrombosis? It is the mastoiditis. It is actually the mastoiditis. And why I am getting this mastoiditis? Because we have a back pressure in the mastoid emissary veins. That is why we are getting the mastoiditis. So we have got so many tributaries of the cavernous sinus, and like we have superior ophthalmic vein also, we have inferior ophthalmic vein also, and that is why we have back pressure changes in the cases of thrombosis, and we are getting there hemorrhages and edema, congestion, chemosis, and the important sign is the mastoiditis. Are you clear with this now? Everybody is clear here? Yes, it's a mastoid edema or mastoiditis. So are you clear? So what should be the answer here now? So yes, because we have got pulsatile proptosis P, we have got chemosis C, and we have got noise in the head, that is B. Therefore, answer to this question is keratoconus fistula. What is a keratoconus fistula, by the way? Why it is called as keratoconus? नाम में ही है उसके keratoconus fistula. What is a fistula? It's artificial passage. So we have a passage, artificial passage, which is occurring between मतलब internal carotid artery and the cavernous sinus. We are having the passage, artificial communication. It's a AV malformation, we can say. So we are having a AV malformation between the internal carotid artery, or it could be any of its branches, and the cavernous sinus. This is your keratoconus fistula. So is that clear now? You can understand any question on proptosis, be it orbital cellulitis hai, या cavernous sinus thrombosis है, keratoconus fistula हो सकता है, Toloshan syndrome हो सकता है. You are clear with it now? Superior orbital fissure syndrome, orbital apex syndrome. Yes, ma'am, है सबका? All right. So let's go with the next one now. Let us see what is this question. So this person is a 80-year male now. 80-year man who is coming to the emergency department with a sudden loss of vision in the left eye that has occurred waking this morning. So he is suddenly having some pain, and there is no associated he's suddenly having diminution of vision and there is no pain. So here I am having the sudden painless diminution of vision. So what was my dictum? Do you remember? Sudden painless का मतलब है we are having the posterior segment. So you have to think about the posterior segment. That means it is a posterior segment disease. Sudden painless diminution of vision, something from the posterior segment. And past medical history is notable for the hypertension. So we are having a risk factor also. We are having the hypertension. And he is taking the medications like Ramipril है, Clothalidone है, smoking. A very important history, smoking है, hypertension भी है, smoking history है हमारे पास, temperature 36, blood pressure 140/90 है, pulse 86, respiration 14 है. Examination of the right eye shows no abnormalities. ठीक है. Fundoscopy में क्या क्या मिल रहा है? We have swelling of the optic disc, retinal hemorrhages, dilated and the tortuous veins है, cotton wool spots है. What is the most likely diagnosis? Now can you tell me, पहले शुरू से start करते हैं, what is the DD of cotton wool spots? This patient is having the cotton wool spots, and this patient is also having the sudden painless. So we will see जो भी overlapping होगा वो आंसर हो जाएगा sudden painless diminution of vision. Now first of all, can you tell me what are the causes of cotton wool spots? What are all things you know where I can have cotton wool spots? नहीं, आंसर नहीं चाहिए अभी मुझे, अभी सिर्फ मुझे डीडी चाहिए कॉटन वूल स्पॉट्स का. वेयर डू यू गेट कॉटन वूल स्पॉट्स? वन इज द हाइपरटेंशन, रेटिनोपैथी. What else? Any other place where you get the cotton wool spots? What are cotton wool spots? Cotton wool spots are actually the soft exudates. These are actually the soft exudates. And why do you get the soft exudates? Because of the retinal hypoxia. Because of the retinal hypoxia. So due to the retinal hypoxia, what do you get? Due to the retinal hypoxia, we are getting the neuronal deposits. You are getting the neuronal deposits. मतलब, see, whenever you have the retinal hypoxia, ठीक है ना? There is something which is called as exostasis. There is something which is called as exostasis. So stasis will be there in the flow of exoplasma, due to which you will have the deposits. Neuronal deposits will be there, and these neuronal deposits will be there in the nerve fiber layer of the retina. So therefore these are called as the soft exudates. Either they are called as the soft exudates, and because they resemble the balls of the cotton, something like this, therefore they are also called as the cotton wool spots. ठीक है? Now where do you get them? Hypertension retinopathy में obviously they are found. Then where else they can be found? In the eclamptic retinopathy. Eclamptic retinopathy में भी मिलेगा. Then initially they are also found in the diabetic retinopathy. ठीक है? उसके अलावा they are present in the CMV retinitis, that is your HIV, which is common in the HIV retinopathy. Then this is also found in anemia. If the person is having the anemia, then also we will have retinal hypoxia. Any other cause that you know? Yes, cotton wool spots. Any other cause that you know? This is also the CRVO. This is also the CRVO. CRVO may be because of the venous occlusion. You are having lot of venous dilatation है, tortuosity है, cotton wool spots है. Now you have to see what are the causes of the sudden painless. What are the causes of the sudden painless diminution of vision? Now mind my words, take my words, this is going to help you like anything, because whenever you are solving a question will give you sudden painless, sudden painful, gradual painless, gradual painful. So these things will come to your mind at a tip, they will be, so you will be very fluent in solving the question. So what are the there? Putsch's ocular ischemic syndrome. Putsch's में हाँ हो सकते हैं. Yes, Putsch's retinopathy is also there. So where do you get the sudden painless diminution of vision? We have already discussed that whenever we have the venous occlusions or the arteriolar occlusions, CRAO है, CRVOB है. Where else you will get sudden painless diminution of vision? Any other cause that you know? Sudden painless? Anybody? You have to think about the posterior segment diseases. So we can think about the retinal detachments. We can think about the diabetic retinopathy. We can think about the CSR. We can think about the CME also. Yes, RD is there. और क्या हो सकता है? If the person is having sudden painless diminution of vision, then the person can also have the yes, very good, vitreous hemorrhage. Person can also come with the vitreous hemorrhage. Then what else? Optic neuritis क्या है अंजलि? You cannot say all the kinds of optic neuritis, because some of the optic neuritis are also having the retroorbital pain, but there are certain types of optic neuritis which are painless, जैसे कि toxic optic neuritis है, anterior ischemic optic neuropathy है, this is also painless, है ना? So that is there. Then we have got the Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy, ये मिल सकता है. You can have the painless things. So there are so many causes. तो अब इनमें से कौन सा ऐसा cause है where you can get sudden painless diminution of vision? Yes, obviously it's ischemic optic neuropathy. We have vitreous hemorrhage. So which is the one which is having both? Elderly है, male है, hypertension risk factor है, smoking risk factor है, along with the cotton wool spot. So what is that common one? That is your CRVO. Yes or no? So look at the options here. Options क्या है? Number one is acute angle closure glaucoma. Can it be a case of acute angle closure glaucoma? Yes or no? What kind of vision loss we get in angle closure glaucoma? If it is a case of the angle closure glaucoma, then you will get sudden painful. Then you are going to get the sudden painful diminution of vision. Then angle closure glaucoma is also more common in the females, right? Then you will not get the optic disc swelling, retinal hemorrhages, dilated tortuous veins, and the cotton wool spot. So of course this is not there. Then what about acute anterior uveitis? This will also cause sudden painful. Acute anterior uveitis and the angle closure glaucoma are the causes of acute red eye. You will get acute red eye. So these are the cases where you have the acute red eye, you have sudden painful diminution of vision. So they are not there in our options. Now we have amaurosis fugax. What is amaurosis fugax, by the way? Amaurosis fugax is there. Amaurosis fugax means we have got the transient ischemic attacks. We have got the transient ischemic attacks leading to the episodes of the diminution of vision. So where the patient is not having total, diminution of vision or the blurring of vision, it is episodic. Transient obscuration of vision is there. Whenever there is a raised intraocular pressure, there will be, stenosis. There can be ocular ischemic syndrome leading to CRAO, where there is more than 90% carotid artery stenosis is there. So those cases, we are having the transient obscuration of vision. That is actually called as the amaurosis fugax. Yes, transient obscuration of vision loss is there. So that means here I will not have the sudden painless diminution of vision. I will have the episodic pains. तो यहाँ पर hypertension is of course a risk factor, a very important risk factor, especially when we are having this ocular ischemic syndrome. And in the ocular ischemic syndrome, one of the presentations जो होता है वो CRAO होता है, not the CRVO. And CRAO में we get the pale retina. CRAO में I will get the pale retina, and along with this a very very important thing, I will get cherry red spot. ठीक है ना? So therefore it is not amyloidosis fugax also. So what is left then? So what is left is therefore the answer will be central retinal venous occlusion. What is this? Anybody giving the spot diagnosis? What is this? Anybody? We have already discussed about this. Anybody who can tell this? What can you see here? Can you see these tortuous veins here? These are your tortuous veins. Is this visible? Is this color visible over it? These are your tortuous veins. Then you can see these hemorrhages. So this is a case of CRVO, where you have hemorrhages, we have got the tortuous veins along with your evergreen splashed tomato appearance. ठीक है ना? Are you able to understand this totally, completely? CRVO समझ में आया? What is the risk? What kind of dilated tortuous veins? Papilledema नहीं है अविनाश है. Papilledema में you will have enlargement of the blind spot ना. You are having a normal size optic disc here, so it's not papilledema. अच्छा, another question. We have got two kind of CRVO. ठीक है ना? We have got two kind of CRVO. One is non-ischemic variety and one is the ischemic variety. ठीक है? Now non-ischemic variety is more common. ये सब मैं बता रही हूँ. This is 75% and we are not worried about this. But ischemic variety we are worried about, where I am getting just 25% and I am worried about it. So what is the most common complication or most important risk that we can have in cases of ischemic CRVO? Anybody who can tell me what is the most important risk that I can have in a patient of specially ischemic variety of CRVO that could be there? Anybody who can tell me what is the most important risk that we can have in these patients, ischemic variety of CRVO में? It's very important and it has been asked in your previous year questions also. क्या होता है? क्या हो सकता है? If a patient is having lot of ischemia, then what will be released? What will be released due to the ischemia? There will be vascular endothelial growth factor. Lot of vascular endothelial growth factor. What it will do? It will do lot of angiogenesis. Angiogenesis. So there will be lot of angiogenesis. Due to the angiogenesis, there will be lot of neovascularization. And due to the neovascularization, किसी ने बताया नहीं अभी तक? अब तो hint में मिल गया. Yes. Mind blowing, guys. Yes. So you will have the neovascular glaucoma or the 100-day glaucoma. Yes. Yes. So basically, we are having a risk of 100-day glaucoma in these patients. इसीलिए we are worried and we are basically treating every case of the ischemic CRVO. Maybe non-ischemic CRVO we are not treating that much, but ischemic CRVO you definitely have to treat because these patients have high propensity to develop 90-day glaucoma or the 100-day glaucoma. ठीक है? Now coming to the next one. Next question. See, they are large size question, but they are good ones. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. A 62-year female है is brought for a severe right-sided headache है, nausea है, and eye pain है. So right side में ही headache है, nausea भी है, eye pain is there. She was fixing a light bulb and she suddenly felt pain. So suddenly and pain is also there, so I can say that this is your sudden painful. So here I am having the sudden painful diminution of vision. She decided to take rest. Question देख रहा है ना, or is it hiding behind me? She decided to take rest, but the eye pain only got worse. In the next few minutes, she is also developing the loss of vision, photophobia, and the redness. Then we have photophobia, and we have congestion, that is redness is there, congestion is there, and she took medications to relieve the accompanying headache, but the eye pain persisted. She denies any trauma, no history of trauma, ठीक है ना. And she has 2 risk factors, diabetes and hypertension. She appears to be intense pain of bout. Pain is very severe है, nausea है, and loss of vision है, photophobia है, congestion है. We have got 2 risk factors, diabetes and hypertension. Visual acuity is very less, 20/200. Right eye pupil is mid-dilated and non-reactive to light, and hard on palpation also. So now, what is the diagnosis, guys? If I summarize the things which are given in the question, this patient is having sudden painful diminution of vision, first of all. So what are the things I can take into DD? First of all, give me the DD of sudden painful diminution of vision. We had discussed this in the previous question also. क्या सोच रहे हो कि क्या हो सकता है? Papilledema में loss of vision is present or not? Papilledema में initially there is no loss of vision. We are just getting the transient attacks of myosis fugax. But in the later stages, we have the atrophy. है ना. तो जब ऑप्टिक एट्रोफी हो जाएगी, then we have the loss of vision, not in initial stages. ठीक है ना. तो sudden painful diminution of vision के लिए I can think about acute congestive glaucoma, I can think about acute anterior uveitis. उसके अलावा और क्या हो सकता है? We have acute congestive glaucoma भी है, we have acute anterior uveitis, and then we also have the bacterial keratitis. Bacterial keratitis is also there, right? Now, if I talk about the female gender with the nausea, and then you have photophobia, ठीक है ना. So photophobia can be present in both acute congestive glaucoma as well as in the acute anterior uveitis as well as the corneal ulcers also. But the nausea will be present only in the acute congestive glaucoma. Female gender is also more common in the acute congestive glaucoma. Then you have got the pupil which is mid-dilated. A pupil which is mid-dilated. So mid-dilated pupil again goes in the favor of acute congestive glaucoma. Because in cases of acute anterior uveitis, what kind of pupil you will get? You will get miotic pupil, right? So I have here also acute congestive glaucoma, acute congestive glaucoma, acute congestive glaucoma, photophobia maybe, acute congestive glaucoma, and then I also have the stony hard eye. Stony hard eye. Stony hard eye means the IOP is very, very high. So when the IOP is very, very high, stony hard, again it is acute congestive glaucoma. Yes. So that means near about we are sure that this patient, this female, is having the attacks of acute congestive glaucoma. So let us try to see what is the pathophysiology, why we are having this acute congestive glaucoma. ये देखो, जैसे ही we have the in a predisposed individual. So obviously every person will not get acute congestive glaucoma by the dilatation of pupil. So you have to see the risk factors. In the predisposed individual only, we are going to have this precipitation of angle closure glaucoma. Risk factors में the small eyeball, और we have got the small cornea. Small eyeball है, small cornea है, or the person is having shallow anterior chamber due to any cause. We have got hypermetropia. Hypermetropes also have the shallow anterior chamber. Hypermetropes हो सकते हैं. Forward bulge of the iris lens diaphragm. Anterior dislocation of the lens could be there. So any of the thing. Then we have a female. Then we have the type A personality. All these people are the risk factors for the angle closure glaucoma. So what is happening as soon as we have the dilatation of the pupil? What is happening due to the dilatation of the pupil? The aqueous humor is not getting the passage to go anteriorly. So when this aqueous humor is not able to pass anteriorly, it starts accumulating behind this iris and it will push the iris anteriorly. Something like this. Can you see? This is your iris here and this is your iris here. So now what is happening? It is pushing the iris anteriorly. When it is pushing the iris anteriorly, it will be something like this. This is the lens here. So it is pushing the iris anteriorly like this and it is pushing the iris anteriorly like this. Okay? And behind we have the collection of the aqueous humor like this. This is the lens here. So this forms the iris bombae. So this forms the iris bombae. Due to this iris bombae, we have the iridolenticular. Corneal. So we have the this corneal contact. So as soon as the iris will go and it will get adhesion to the cornea due to this pushing, ballooning is taking place, we will have the sudden closure. There will be sudden closure of the angle of anterior chamber. Due to the sudden closure of angle of anterior chamber, we can have this acute congestive glaucoma. Now, when we have, recurrent attacks of this acute congestive glaucoma, we can have the formation of PAS. PAS. This is your peripheral anterior synecdoche. So we will have peripheral anterior synecdoche and this will lead to the chronic congestive glaucoma. So this will lead to the chronic congestive glaucoma because we have the synecdoches. So synechial angle closure हो गया, synechial angle closure से chronic congestive glaucoma हो गया. So this is the whole pathogenesis. I hope you have understood. And if you see the eye, so what are the things that I'm going to get? Because now I have a congestion, the angle is closed, aqueous humor is not able to pass. So what are the things I'm going to have? So I will have this hazy cornea because now cornea is coming in contact behind, it is decompensated, right? Then you will have mid-dilated vertically oval pupil and you have lot of congestion. So similar picture is this one also, which I usually show in the classes too. Can you see? You have got mid-dilated vertically oval and fixed pupil. You will have this haziness in the cornea. You can see you do not have any depth of the anterior chamber, flat anterior chamber. Now one question, what is this type of congestion? What is this type of congestion, guys? Can you name this kind of congestion? What is the kind of conjunctival congestion that you get here? Anybody? This is ACG. Okay. Sympathetic ophthalmia किसके लिए बोला अंजलि? Can you tell me what kind of congestion is this? Anybody else? Yes, this is circumciliary या फिर circumcorneal. Circumcorneal congestion या फिर circumciliary congestion है, which is all around the cornea and the fornices are relatively empty. While in cases of the conjunctival congestion, that will be more towards the fornices and the limbal area will be empty. So we know now that what is acute congestive glaucoma and why is this case a case of acute congestive glaucoma. अब हम देखते हैं options. that which drug should be avoided in this patient? Acetazolamide, pilocarpine, timolol, या atropine? Now give the answer. What should you avoid in this patient? What should we avoid in this patient now? Yes, acetazolamide is a drug that we give. Pilocarpine is a meiotic. So because I am having the mid dilatation, so obviously meiotic I have to give. Timolol is a beta blocker. And then you have atropine. This is your midriatic and the cycloplegic. Midriatic and a cycloplegic. So what you should avoid in this patient? Yes, why should you avoid? Because पूरी हमने pathogenesis पढ़ी. It was the mid dilatation of the pupil that was precipitating the attack of angle closure glaucoma. Treatment भी discuss करते हैं. Now treatment में, because you know again this is a ophthalmic emergency, है ना. AO is also a ophthalmic emergency. आज हमने बहुत सारी emergencies पढ़ी. AO था, cavernous sinus thrombosis था, retinal detachment था, and this is also a ophthalmic emergency, and very soon you have to reverse this attack. ठीक है. So first of all you have to decrease the IOP at the earliest, for which I will start the IV drugs. IV drugs में what are the drugs that I have to give? The first drug that we use is the acetazolamide. I think all my students know why we give acetazolamide as the first drug, because it is acting on the aqueous humor. Mannitol comes second. So mannitol is the second drug. Then number 2 is your drug of choice. Drug of choice is a pilocarpine. It is a meiotic because I want to reverse the attack. It is already due to the mydriasis. And then because there is nausea, there is vomiting, there is pain, so I have to give the antiemetics to the patient. I have to give the painkillers, opioids दे सकते हैं. And when everything is fine, then only we shift the patient to the topical drugs. ठीक है ना. अब topical में you have to see avoiding the prostaglandin analogs, maybe because inflammation बहुत ज़्यादा है. So I can give the steroids to combat the inflammation. I have to give the beta blockers, and plus you have to see that which anti-glaucoma drugs have to be given, because you know there are certain contraindications for every kind of this anti-glaucoma drug. And when everything is fine, then you give the treatment of choice. So what is the treatment of choice? See, there is a difference between the drug of choice and the treatment of choice also. So who will tell me? Drug of choice to tha pilocarpine. What is the treatment of choice in this case? What is the treatment of choice? Treatment of choice is the laser iridotomy, or it could be a surgical PI. Laser iridotomy. Yes, next day laser iridotomy कर सकते हैं. So we can do it something like this. If this is there and this is the pupil, so I'll create a small opening. This is your laser iridotomy, or I can do the surgical PI also. Segmental resection कर सकते हैं हम, something like this, wedge shaped resection. So this is your surgical PI. ठीक है ना. So that you do not have the collection of aqueous behind the iris. And number 7. If this also fails, then you have to do the definite thing, that is your trabeculectomy. So trabeculectomy is the ultimate treatment that we can give to this patient. Trabeculectomy, it is a, you can say, a filtration operation where you are creating a fistula between the anterior chamber and the subconjunctival space. Is this treatment complete, or you have to do any other thing? Anybody? Please explain the treatment of choice. Treatment of choice. Treatment of choice बहुत easy है. Pathogenesis पर चलो. अभी हमने pathogenesis पढ़ा था ना, ये था. So why were you having this iridocorneal contact? Why you were having the sudden closure of angle of anterior chamber? Why I was having the angle closure glaucoma? Because of this aqueous humor. Because this aqueous humor was collecting behind the iris. So if I give a opening here in the iris, so this aqueous humor will start flowing through this opening like this. So what will happen? There will be no aqueous collection. Therefore, there will be no iris Bombay formation, no acute congestive glaucoma, no synecdoche, no chronic congestive glaucoma. Therefore, the treatment of choice will be iridotomy. You have to give the opening in the iris so that any collection of the aqueous humor behind the iris can come and pass through it. That is the main funda. Abhi samajh mein aaya? Who asked me? Shubham, have you got this? Yes. So now what is the other thing that I have to give? I have to give a prophylaxis for the other eye also. Prophylaxis of the other eye. So for the other eye, again, I will do either the laser iridotomy or I will do the surgical PI. So now this treatment is complete. Always remember, in a patient of glaucoma, you always have to give the prophylaxis for the other eye. Cataract you can stop in that eye, but in the glaucoma, you will always stop after giving the prophylaxis in the other eye. So this completes your question and the session for today. I hope you loved the session as much as I did, enjoyed it, and you are really learning how to solve the clinical questions, how to approach the clinical questions in a fun-loving manner. And we are also learning about the diseases, how to approach the DDs, what is the importance of DDs, the pathogenesis, and the treatments, and the associated images also. So please give your feedback. You can directly message me, or you can send me your comments under this video, whatever you like, and so that I get to know how much you are liking, liking it, because your feedbacks are really important and they mean much more for me. And definitely next week again I'll be coming with new OPD and IPD cases, some more interesting cases, and we'll be discussing them. And thank you for being so cooperative and interacting. And recent SWT was awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Why is chemoprophylaxis controversial? What is the difference between drug of choice and treatment of choice? Chemoprophylaxis controversial? कौन से chemoprophylaxis की बात कर रहे हो? क्या mannitol and acetazolamide की बात कर रहे हो क्या राहुल? Please tell me. And difference between drug of choice और treatment of choice में क्या है? DOC मतलब drug of choice, ठीक है ना? TOC का मतलब है treatment of the choice. So when I am asking about the drug, which drug is the most important one, then it is a miotic, because this acute congestive glaucoma was precipitated due to the mid dilatation of pupil, है ना? तो इसलिए हमको reverse करना है attack by giving the meiosis. Treatment of choice का मतलब ये है what treatment you can give so that you are able to solve it. तो एक तो ये किया कि we are giving the drugs by reversing the attack, then we are giving the drugs to decrease the IOP, and this is the treatment that we can do. The treatment which is curative. I can create the opening so that aqueous humor start flowing, and then that can also reverse the attack. So when they ask you the drug of choice, your answer will be pilocarpine, and when they ask you the treatment of choice, your answer will be the iridotomy or the iridectomy. I hope I'm clear. And YAG peripheral iridectomy. YAG peripheral iridectomy is same as iridotomy. When I'm talking about the laser iridotomy, what laser I am using? The ND-YAG laser only. So it is same as the YAG iridectomy. Usually when we use laser, we call it as iridotomy. And ND-YAG laser, that is 1064 nanometer. What is the mechanism of action here? It is photodisruption. Photodisruption. Mechanism of action is the photodisruption that we are using. And all right. Can we get gold only reading the Parsons? ऐसा नहीं है. Many of the students have got the gold. और लेकिन अगर thinking of this, you start reading Parsons that I can get gold only when I read the Parsons, yes, then you will definitely, learn more and you will grasp more. पढ़ना चाहिए, but not for gold. Gold अपने आप आएगा when you read, but don't read just for getting the gold. Okay ना? There is a difference between the two. तो कहते हैं ना कि एक्सीलेंस के पीछे भागो, सक्सेस अपने आप झक मार कर आएगी, तो वो याद रखो, इसलिए पढ़ाई के पीछे भागो, गोल्ड अपने आप आएगा. डोंट रीड द पार्सन्स बिकॉज यू वांट गोल्ड. Read the Parsons and you will get gold yourself. So thank you so much, guys. I enjoyed a lot, and keep on studying ophthalmology, and we'll meet next week, same time, same day, and with more and more inquisitive questions. Thank you so much. Happy ophthalmology.